Striving to become a better leader, three fundamental things to know. Happy New Year, everybody. Over the last 14 years of being in leadership, I've made some big fails, I have to say. And but from those fails came some learnings. And from those learnings became lead physician. Lead physician came from my own failures and my ability to give back to the physician and healthcare community is important to me. So I want to teach you about three fundamentals I think that you can start off with for you and your organization to improve the leadership within yourselves and with the people who report to you. My name is Dr. Elsie Koh. I am the founder and CEO of Lead Physician Online Leadership Program for Physicians, and I'm also the Chief Medical Officer of American Endovascular and Amputation Prevention. Go to our YouTube channel to listen to all of the great speakers I had on there, and I thank you so much for being a part of Lead Physician in this endeavor, and I look forward to future speakers. If you're interested, listen to the end. So, striving to become a better leader requires so many different things, but I've honed it down to three fundamental things, and it's all about developing the future that you're looking for yourself and for your company. And number one, I would say, is hone in on your worthy goal. And what does that mean? Some of us, so many of us have many different types of goals, and one of my mentors, Bob Proctor, spoke about A, B, and C type goals. So we need to hone in our C type goal, which is our worthy goal, which is the big goal that you find out for yourself is specific to you and your passions and interests and your ability to make an impact in this world in some way. If this is you and you have something that you know you're itching for, maybe you don't even know what it is yet, but you know that there's a bigger purpose than what you're doing right now. That's the worthy goal to figure out so that you are so focused in where you're going this year. Instead of wandering and waiting for things to happen to you, it's so much better to have something in the forefront of your mind of what you want to accomplish and emotionalize it, so passionate about it that any setbacks, any sacrifices that you have to make are nothing in comparison to what you're going to do when you accomplish this goal. That is the worthy goal. The worthy goal also instills some fear. It excites you, but at the same time, it creates this fear inside you, and sometimes you might feel a little sick because you don't know how you're going to be able to do it. And I don't want you to focus on how, you want to focus on what it is first. And you know what? So many people come to me and say, Elsie, I don't even know how I'm going to even figure out what this worthy goal is. I don't even know. I haven't even had a chance to even think about it. But, I have to say is the best thing to do is write it down. Write down all the things that you love. Think back to your past, even when you were a child, and write down the things that you used to love to do. So much, adulthood gets in the way, experiences get in the way, finances get in the way, family gets in the way, and we forget about what it is that we actually love to do. And even the hobbies that you might have had have a lot to do with, what you really are meant to do and want to do in this. And maybe parents got in the way of you being where you are today. And, they have the best of intentions, but sometimes it got in the way of what you really want to do. And sometimes we see physicians who are so creative, so they have this artsy background, or even musicians, and you wonder, do they go into medicine because that's what they really wanted to do, or is this other passion that they have, what they were meant to do, but kind of pushed down because of parental pressure or societal pressure. So think about that, write it down. And, this is similar to a vision mission of the company. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But once you have that in mind and you've come to, you've come down to one or two major things that you want to do personally or professionally, then you're going to have to build some courage to lead in the way that you want to lead. So many physicians are now being asked to step into leadership like never before. And suddenly there's a lot of fear because you're supposed to be the expert in what you're doing in your field of medicine. and we're not supposed to show weakness. And that's kind of how we were brought up in the culture of medical education. But if we come to terms with this fear, we are a lot more open about asking for help, and then surrounding ourselves with people who've done it, who've gone there, will help build your courage. Your courage to lead, to do the things, to act on the things that you need to have done. If your image of yourself stays where you are right now, and yet your goal is up here, and it requires a different kind of mindset, a different strength that you've never felt before, there has to be a change in the self-image that you have of yourself in order to do it. So leadership is not just about learning about how to read financial statements or how to do manage marketing and sales, and to build your teams and learn about some politics and regulation. I mean, those are really important quality measures, but at least 50% of leadership is learning about building this courage to lead, because you're not going to act, you're not going to be able to help others do what they need to do if you don't even believe it in yourself that you can do it. Does that make sense? We have so many limiting beliefs that and stories that we tell ourselves. And unless we come to terms with that and start realizing those aren't facts, and we start believing in our own potential, that's when we can release the inner potential that you have of yourself. So, and also courage is so important for change. There's so much change that's going on. We are all living it. This COVID pandemic, a lot of us had to change and shift and practice in ways that we haven't before. And we have to learn how to accept that and be resilient and do what Simon Sinek says, which is having existential flexibility, to be able to step back and say, you know what, this isn't really working. So I need to just stop doing what doesn't make sense. Insanity, what Albert Einstein says, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, and instead be able to have the courage to say, let's put our minds together, let's come up with different solutions, and let's try something else. And that takes a lot of courage and resilience. So that's number two. Number three is to have a trusted team, and I don't mean just having a trusted team within your organization. I'm also talking about having a mastermind group. And do you know what that is? A mastermind group is getting together a small group, maybe a cohort of 10 or less people who you trust, who think like you. Maybe it's just one person, to be able to come together maybe once a week, once a month, once every quarter, to be able to discuss issues that are going on, big problems that you're trying to overcome, maybe a solution that you haven't thought of, and you want to bring it forth to somebody, like groupthink. And say you have 10 people over an hour, and you give each person 6 minutes, you put a timer, and you present the issue in a very succinct way and ask that one question, and you stop and you wait for everyone to speak up and be able to come up with the ideas, and you just take notes on everything that people are saying. And it may trigger an idea, but maybe it doesn't. But you want to be able to step back and read those notes later and think about it deeply, because there's something that may be missing that you haven't thought of yet. And that could be so powerful. That's what people have done in the past and continue to do, who are leading very successful lives. So having this trusted team. Now, the same thing goes for organizational leadership. All these three concepts, honing in on your worthy goal, is, like I said before, vision and mission of your company. What is the vision and mission? And maybe you need to hone in on what it is. The vision statement is the emotionalized mission statement. It's what's going to drive your employees to be able to do what needs to be done, to get it done. So everyone's on the same trajectory. Everyone understands that they are a piece of this big vision for this organization. So that gives everyone a purpose of why they're there. They end up loving to be part of your team and loving to work where they're working. They're willing to make sacrifices to make it happen. And that's how you maintain your staff in this changing environment. So maybe you need to tweak that and make it even more, communicate that more to the organization. We need to build courage in our direct reports, in our managers, in our leaders, to be able to help with change, help them to speak with employees when things aren't happening in the right way, to encourage them to step outside of what they've been used to doing so that they can help become your represent you or represent the company and what needs to be done. So building courage to be resilient and shift and change, and then having the transformers in your company and building trust within your company is huge. That culture of safety, so that people feel like, there is that feedback loop where I can tell you why I don't think this is working right now where I'm working. I need help because this isn't happening, and I feel comfortable coming to you to tell you that, there's a problem here and that you're going to listen to me, and we're going to come up with some kind of solution. And maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe collectively we're going to think about it and come back. But I feel heard. I feel like you care about what I have to say. And building that culture of safety and having trusted teams will really bring the organization to another level and towards a higher performing organization. So, I hope this was helpful for you. If you have a topic on physician leadership, please reach out to me at Dr. Elsie Koh, info at drelsiekoh.com. That's my email. And if you or your teams need some leadership coaching, we have a great staff of people. Go to www.leadphysician.org, and you can set up actually a 15-minute call with me, and through my Calendly link. So go to calendly.com drcococo.com. That's my Coco is actually my nickname. And what I wanted, last words, I always say last words for a podcast, for me to you, is to challenge the conventional mindset of leadership and how your organization and yourself have been functioning in 2022 and is ready for change for 2023. We need to challenge the status quo, challenge what hasn't been working, challenge the dictatorship model of leadership, and realize that leadership development is an infinite game. As Simon Sinek says, it's not a finite game where we go to a course or we go to a weekend course. We have somebody come speak on grand rounds for 2 to 3 hours, and employees and everyone's supposed to know what leadership is. Leadership is a culmination of multiple things that come together to help that leader grow. And I like the way Simon Sinek had an analogy of leadership development to development of love. And everyone understands love, but a lot of people don't understand leadership. Love, is the moment that you decide that you love somebody. If you think of somebody who you love right now, and the moment you decide is not so clear, but you know that it was a culmination of multiple little things that had to happen. And some of the things may seem so innocuous, is what he'd say, but it's the culmination of all those things together that created that love. And that one day you said, damn, I love that person. Well, leadership is also a culmination of your learnings. And whether you develop a mentorship program for your people so that they can learn from people who've done it, or you have consultants who come in and help your leaders, or you yourself get some help, is huge. I mean, reading books, and I had a mentor who would give out a free book and mail it out every holiday, and have them read this book. So even just reading a book, reading synopsis, listening to audiobooks, everything matters. It's an infinite game, and leadership doesn't end. I feel like I just scratched the surface. So I hope this was helpful to you. Bottom line, happy new year to you and your loved ones. I'm so grateful to have this platform, and I hope this is helpful for you. Happy New Year's to you and your loved ones. Stay healthy, stay happy, and may this be a prosperous and successful 2023 for you. And I hope many more podcasts to come to help everybody. In closing, thank you.